TheJamies.net.
We sailed on the Holland America Koningsdam for 14 nights, from late December 2025 into early January 2026, including Christmas and New Year's. If you follow these 15 tips, you'll likely enjoy sailing on her as much as we did. Just a quick note that if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. It really helps our channel. And consider subscribing so you get alerted when we add new videos. Our first tip will help make sure you enjoy your activity time on board the Koningsdam. During our cruise, we found that Holland America's Navigator app and the paper daily schedule did not always list the same events, so checking both helped us avoid missing anything. If you need an extra paper schedule, they were available in the Business Center near guest services during our cruise, along with a daily crossword and Sudoku. The library also had a daily crossword and Sudoku available. Our next tip is to check out New York Deli and Pizza for breakfast to avoid the crowds in the buffet. During our cruise, we found that many passengers did not seem to realize the venue on Deck 10 midship was open in the morning, so it was never very busy. The venue offered a variety of breakfast options, including bagels, pastries, sides such as bacon and sausage, fruit, yogurt, cereal, and drinks like coffee, juice, water, and milk. Speaking of some less obvious food options, our third tip is to take advantage of a few complimentary snack options available aboard the Koningsdam. During our cruise, the Grand Dutch Cafe on Deck 3 midship offered a variety of baked goods in the morning, along with Dutch specialties and desserts in the afternoon and evening. The Crow's Nest Cafe on Deck 12 forward had several quick bites available each morning. An afternoon tea was offered in the dining room on some of our days at sea, providing a nice alternative to the usual snack options. Our next tip is to take advantage of a few things that can make the Lido Market Buffet experience a bit easier. During our cruise, the Canaletto Specialty Restaurant, which is located in the buffet area, was available for additional seating during breakfast and lunch, which most guests didn't realize until later in the cruise. When getting our food, the menus posted at each buffet station, and the item placards that included allergen information for each dish made it easy to decide what food we wanted to get. Our fifth tip is to use Holland America's Navigator app to make ordering food and requesting amenities more convenient. During our cruise, we used the app to review menus for many of the Koningsdam's restaurants and bars, to place orders at Dive-In and New York Deli and Pizza, which allowed us to wait elsewhere instead of standing in line, and to request stateroom amenities such as extra blankets, pillows, ice refills, and more. Our next tip is to take the nearby stairs up to Deck 1 if the elevators are crowded when you return from port. During our cruise, we noticed that the elevator area where passengers reboarded the ship often got busy, but going up to Deck 1 gave us access to the other elevator areas, which were usually less crowded. Speaking of the elevators, our seventh tip is to be aware that not all elevators go to all of the decks on the Koningsdam. During our cruise, we found that the forward portside elevators went as low as Deck A and as high as Deck 14. The forward starboard side elevators also went as low as Deck A, but only went as high as Deck 12. The midship elevators went from Deck A to Deck 10. The aft portside elevators also went from Deck A to Deck 10. And the aft starboard side elevators went from Deck A to Deck 11. Our next tip is to pay attention to the special elevator call buttons in the forward and aft elevator areas. During our cruise, we found that the forward elevators had a separate button for calling the two port side elevators that went to deck 14. And the aft elevators also had a separate button for calling the two starboard side elevators that went to deck 11. Our ninth tip is to know which deck you are heading to before boarding an elevator. During our cruise, we found that the elevators on the Koningsdam did not have information available inside, so it was helpful to check the nearby signage in the elevator area while waiting. Our next tip is to take advantage of the complimentary saunas available in the spa area on Deck 9 Forward. During our cruise, we found that separate saunas were available for men and women aboard the Koningsdam, and each one had a great view out a large window. Just outside each sauna, there were showers and towels available, which was convenient for using the facilities. Our 11th tip is to check out the nightly entertainment on the big screen at the Lido pool. During our cruise, the screen featured movies and sports in the evenings, including 3 of the college football playoff quarterfinal games. Conveniently, the nearby New York Deli and Pizza had snacks, popcorn, and pizza available. Our next tip is to use a few kid-friendly 4-letter words to help find your stateroom. Many people remember that port and left have 4 letters, and port is the left side of the ship when facing forward. Additionally, even has 4 letters, and the even-numbered staterooms are on the port side or left side of the Koningsdam. Our 13th tip is to take some time to check out the artwork located throughout the Koningsdam. A lot of the artwork was located in the stairways and elevator areas, and many of the pieces had fascinating details that only became noticeable when we paused to take a closer look. Our next tip is to use Holland America's Navigator app to access complimentary digital content. During our cruise, the app provided free access to a selection of magazines, such as Rolling Stone and US Weekly, as well as a selection of newspapers, like the New York Times and USA Today. The app also included access to some of Holland America's websites, and everything was available without needing an internet package. Our 15th tip is to use the digital scales in the elevator areas to weigh your luggage before disembarkation. During our cruise, the scales were set up in some of the main elevator areas the night before disembarkation, which made it easy for guests to check their luggage weight before leaving the Koningsdam. Finally, a bonus tip. If you want a bit of a challenge when you're on the Koningsdam, try to find the coins from the ship's 2015 coin ceremony. Many passengers treat this like a scavenger hunt, so we won't share the exact location. However, we can confirm that the coins exist, and the photo may give you a hint of where to start searching.